peace, war is required. To keep order, first, there must be chaos.
Is it heavy?
Is it in this room?
Animal, vegetable, mineral.
Is it bigger than a bread box? Drink hair, trannies, you name it.
I love Tesla.
I want to make sure you understand that you won't survive this mission.
I'm just saying, I might be Jesus. I might. I'm not saying for sure. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
I don't want to talk about security yet because I want to get the deal done. You know?
We think of the media in this country. The problem is that they have a sense of self-righteousness.
You know, they say if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. I'm sorry. Keep going. I don't know where that came from. Go ahead.
I don't want to be Herbert Hoover. The one president, I just don't want to be Herbert Hoover.
The thing about that neck vagina, though, is that's a neck vagina after a few kids, you know?
I want to talk about Tom Holman. Wow. It must really be going to shit. Because Trump just fired most of the ICE leadership working up in the Pacific Northwest. And in Chicago, and in California. Could it be because Tom Holman...
Say this at risk of my job, Kelly, but what President Trump is doing is insane.
If you look at a map, they drew an artificial line right through it.
Castration is not a mistake, by the way.
Probably should have been indicted for taking $50,000 from an undercover FBI agent.
It is absolutely insane. It is about the 8th reason we've had for the tariffs.
For the trannies out there.
And now he's saying he's putting 50% tariffs on Canada unless they agree to become the 51st state. That is insane.
We have cities that are troubled. We can't have cities that are troubled. And we're sending in our National Guard. And if we need more than the National Guard, we'll send more than the National Guard.
You said you were prepared to send more than the National Guard into American cities.
Sure, I would do that if it was necessary. I'd be allowed to do that, you understand that. And the courts wouldn't get involved, nobody would get involved, and I could send the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, I could send anybody I wanted.
A double standard on issue after issue after issue. They can find everything wrong with somebody else, but they will not look inside and ever admit that they could be wrong themselves. And what was involved here in the Watergate thing was the unfairness of it. Oh, there was a legitimate thing to investigate, but they refused to balance it. They allowed their advocacy to get ahead of their reporting, which is their job to do. You know, President Eisenhower in his farewell address wrote about and warned against the power of the military-industrial complex.
Could it be that it's because he's on tape, taking a bribe, promising to funnel contracts to these guys who were posing as ICE subcontractors?
But Senator, I'm asking about right now and this sitting president's actions right now. It's worth noting that James
Comey,
the
grand jury indicted him.
James Comey and Letitia James have said that they said that they are innocent of these crimes that they've been accused of. But Senator, very quickly,
they'll have a chance to prove it.
I'll tell you this: all of this happened, and they fired 10 district supervisors the day after a Freedom of Information request for the fucking video. Because there's a video. You know, how the FBI do.
Meth helped me bike from LA to Vegas, but lost all my teeth. Spiders, 4 stars.
So you'll have drinks, cocktails, everything on this floor. And then they'll say, welcome to dinner. You walk into the ballroom, Mr. Senators, and you're going to see a ballroom the likes of which I don't think it'll be topped.
I think I would warn against the media elitist complex. You know, the media is always talking about the imperial presidency, the power of the imperial presidency.
Can't touch this. My music hits me so hard, makes me say.
The imperial media and its power. You see, presidential power is limited by the courts, limited by the Congress.
That's according to Professor I Reckon from the University of Wild Guess. Next.
The media's power is unlimited. And some would say, but what about libel suits? Forget it. After the Supreme Court's decision in Sullivan versus New York Times a few years ago, a public figure cannot collect in a libel suit against a newspaper or television unless he can prove malice. And there's no way that that's going to be possible.
Today's settlement of $787,500,000 represents vindication and accountability. Lies have consequences.
The case was resolved even before opening arguments were made.
In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
Isn't the media?
So I would say that as far as the media is concerned, all we can hope from them, if they're going to be responsible, is self-analysis, self-criticism, and some of them are trying with their ombudsman and the rest. The other thing is competition. But what we see in terms of newspapers across the country is more and more places where there's only one paper. Take Washington, D.C. Since the Star left the scene, the Washington Post is the only major newspaper being printed in the most important capital in the world. I wouldn't like to leave the fate of this country to the editors of the Washington Post.
Is there a tape that has audio and video of the transfer of the $50,000?
You would have to talk to Director Patel about that.
No, I'm talking to you.
I don't know the answer, Senator.
Yeah, you do know the answer to that.
Don't call me a liar.
I didn't call you a liar.
You just said I know the answer. I said I don't know the answer.
Well,
you have to talk to Director Patel.
You set up the sting, you got the hidden camera, you catch the guy taking the money, and the fucking case is slam dunk. Not according to Kash Patel. Kash Patel says there's no evidence whatsoever. Cool.
Last time, it took him at least 4 years to bring a demo crew to the Capitol.
The problem here is that everything's gone to shit. And they know it.
That is so deeply unsettling.
It won't interfere with the current building. It'll be near it, but not touching it, and pays total respect to the existing building, which I'm the biggest fan of. It's my favorite place. I love it.
Shows officers chasing a Honduran landscaper into his Southern California surgical center, where staff stepped in and demanded, understandably, a warrant. He was working to send money home for his mother's dialysis. He was eventually arrested anyway.
Trump's proposal would give preference to English speakers, white South Africans, and Europeans who oppose migration.
Tom Holman's going to end up going down. At this point, he's a fucking liability. And just like that girl that indicted Comey.
Explains the new poem on the Statue of Liberty. Give me your Gwens, your Declans, your huddled Chads yearning to J. Crew.
These indictments that we have seen, the indictment against Letitia James and James Comey as well. NBC News again has confirmed that post that President Trump put on Truth Social.
I love Hitler. Then a Republican congressional staffer was seen on Zoom with a Nazi swastika American flag hanging on the wall behind him.
It was actually meant to be a private message to Pam Bondi. Do you think it's appropriate for the president to direct his attorney general to indict whoever he says?
Well, I think it's appropriate for Comey to answer for his conduct.
But folks, that's all in the past. Until yesterday, we found out that a Trump nominee boasted of having a Nazi streak in group chats.
These heads are on the chopping block. Hell, the Supreme Court just shut down half the damn presidential decrees. Well, you know, things don't really matter anymore and laws don't really count. The Constitution's not even a thing anymore because I just signed this presidential memorandum. Get the fuck out of here.
Days since last Republican Nazi thing. There you go.
That's not reality. It violates separation of powers and the Congress's ability to do anything. And a bunch of really good laws. Even this Supreme Court, in what will be hailed as a landmark decision, 7-2, came down and said, what the fuck? I think we can all guess who the holdouts were.
He's forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding.
Let me get in this second.
All because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless.
I have a lawsuit that was doing very well, and when I became president, I said, I'm sort of suing myself. I don't know, how do you settle the lawsuit? I'll say, give me X dollars, right? And I don't know what to do with the lawsuit. It's a great lawsuit, and now I won. It sort of looks bad. I'm suing myself, right?
You can do it for nothing at home.
Well, exactly.
That's some kind of like endless loop of corruption, like a Mobius grift. It's I think they call it the circle of jerk.
Having your rabbit castrated.
ICE is falling apart, and they fucked up on all their hiring, not because they're all too fat to run. What a bunch of bullshit. These people are shooting innocent people on the street. These people are killing innocent people on the street when they're not using fucking paintballs.
The situation has no parallel in American history. Really? Why, that's shocking. You would expect more traditional behavior from President King fighter pilot AI diarrhea.
The Portland police just testified that they had to break up ICE agents shooting each other with fucking tear gas balls because some ICE agents thought the other ICE agents had gotten out of fucking control when attacking the goddamn peaceful protesters.
Back in July, Pam Bondi fired the agency's top ethics advisor. Was that ethical? We'll never know now.
Well, I guess on the scale of from 0 to 10, with 10 being the best, I would say the meeting was a 12.
Richard Nixon, Architect of Peace Award.
So,
so close.
Either some of these ICE agents are fucking out of control, or the other ICE agents are so fucking woke that they started shooting the first ICE agents. Either way, this is a bad situation. So he fired everybody, and they now put Border Patrol in charge. Why, you ask? Because these guys really like to knock some heads. I'm from Texas. I fucking know.
These include Henry Kissinger, Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, Kissinger a second time, George W. Bush, as well as former Secretaries of State Jigsaw, Gargamel, and that spot on the inside of your cheek you keep biting. Bold choice to give a peace prize to Kissinger, Cheney, Rumsfeld, and Bush. That's like giving a Latin Grammy to Kissinger, Cheney, Rumsfeld, and Bush.
I ask you to restore some sanity for the sake of our children.
Absolutely not willing to put on pause any shameful work that we will do to keep.
Watching Trump, they're going to say, he didn't look too good. He's got the shakes. I don't have the shakes, but people are going to think I do.
I would just like to point out that I think it's very interesting that my colleague from South Carolina is so obsessed with the issue of trans people, using horrible slurs to talk about them, when many people in this body have received gender-affirming care.
Kristi Nome looks like a fucking idiot.
Who that is?
Kristi Nome.
Yes, it is.
Ice
yes,
Barbie.
It is.
Though she's clearly a psycho, she's got every right to be pissed off at J.D. Vance. Hey, you'll only hear this once, but J.D. Vance is right. Somebody who brags about murdering a dog is kind of fucking messed up in the head.
That is just remarkable.
They got these fucking people running DHS. And when I say these people, of course, I mean Cora Lewandowski's running it. You know, the guy getting the blowjob from this plastic monstrosity. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's Mar-a-Lago hot, right? Mar-a-Lago hot. Just add polyurethane.
Filler is gender-affirming care. Boob jobs is gender-affirming care. Botox is gender-affirming care. Lots of my colleagues have received gender-affirming care, and let me be clear, I think everyone should have access to the gender-affirming care that they need, and I think we should respect everybody in this country. With that, I yield back.
Ridiculous. You are absolutely ridiculous.
Lady is not recognized. Order. The House will be in order.
The gentlelady and the gentleman will suspend. The House will be in order.
Okay, let's do an easy one. Easy one. Leather BDSM overalls, yay or super yay?
Is that nylon? Silicon? The work's not good enough for silicon. I think you know it's not silicon.
Aluminum or steel?
Come on.
Catch all the nasty roadrunners. I remember a roadrunner came up to me once, big roadrunner, strong roadrunner. Tears pouring out of his beady little cartoon eyes down onto his big yellow beep, and he said to me, sir,
Meep, meep. So everything seems to be falling apart. The Supreme Court says you're violating a bunch of really good parts of the Constitution.
Did you or Director Patel investigate?
Video shown every day of criminality by these ICE agents and Border Patrol agents.
Or our community, what will happen to them?
Watching videos of ICE tackling a young mother, tear gas being used in a Chicago residential neighborhood, and the smashing of car windows. Have some of these raids gone too far?
No, I think they haven't gone far enough.
You're okay with those tactics?
Yeah, because you have to get the people out.
Well, you promised in your campaign that you were going to deport the worst of the worst. Violent criminals,
we're doing that.
rapists.
Well, that's what we're
doing. But a lot of the people that your administration has arrested and deported aren't violent criminals. Landscapers, nannies, construction workers,
landscapers
farm
who are
workers.
criminals, yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Everybody's nothing, Big Bird. Come see what Elmo did.
What have you done, Elmo?
Elmo wrote a diss track.
He's going full Kendrick Lamar.
Trump's threatening our funds, has two stupid sons. Elmo's pissed. Says that we woke, his brain is broke, dumb fascist. It's clear he's not seen our show. Can't pronounce words he should know. What's next? Will he tear up cookies?
Cookies, bitch.
My song is finished. My song is done. Brought to you by number one.
I got 2 words for that. Who cares?
You said, if we need more than the National Guard, we'll send more than the National Guard. What does that mean, send more than the National Guard?
Well, if you had to send in the Army or if you had to send in the Marines, I'd do that in a heartbeat.
So you're going to send the military into American cities?
Well, if I wanted to, I could. If I wanted to use the Insurrection Act. The Insurrection Act has been used routinely by presidents, and if I needed it, that would mean I could bring in the Army, the Marines, I could bring in whoever I want. But I haven't chosen to use it. I hope you give me credit for that.
Time to open the government.
So why not, as president, as budget director, and as agriculture secretary, say, you know what? We're going to find a way to let people eat starting Saturday to Sunday.
We do not have the ability to do something about it right now. Paying the troops was someone stepping up, an incredibly generous American patriot who said, I'll write that $130 million check.
So why not find a private donor to help pay for people's food?
Will you help me do that? $9.2 billion, maybe George Soros or someone like that will say, you know what? I have been funding these left radical agendas for so long. I'm going to now use my money to help people eat. But this is so easy. All we have to do.
See a decrease in people's well-being, unnecessary mental health and pressure, similarly to what we saw in the previous shutdown under the first Trump administration.
Why won't the Democrats do that?
Some of the hardest hit states are states like Louisiana, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Oregon. They have more than 15% of their population depending on these food stamps. More than 200 House Democrats have urged the agency to tap into those billions of dollars in emergency funds here to prevent this funding gap.
This is the story of how the wealthy that used to be illegal supercharge their wealth at the expense of their workers, and why this year it could get way worse.
You invested in a business, and this business is dead. Let's have the intelligence to sign the death certificate.
This change gave corporations a huge amount of cash to throw around.
And the FBI agents they don't like, they've got them out there doing regular Border Patrol shit. I guess if you make somebody pick up trash long enough, they'll finally quit. Oh, you people getting a job in this administration, put your money away, because you're all fired when the next president takes over. And many of you will be indicted for things you're doing right now. And I'll tell you this, they launched an investigation into the auto pin that Joe Biden used. So each and every motherfucking one of you better get an actual signature from that piece of shit. Better hope he doesn't die on you. You think the next president's gonna accept a fucking auto pin? I don't know. Y'all seem to suggest that every single time Trump used it, he was violating the Constitution. So, you might want to get that pardon in writing. And you might want to get it right now. I don't know if you've checked. Motherfucker's got congestive heart failure. They could keep this guy alive for 10 years, and he could die tonight.
For the international Jewish community, they're extremely organized, and many of them are critical of Israel or Israel's current government or the project of Israel. But I guess what they have in common is that they have this international community across borders, extremely organized, that is putting the interests of themselves before the interests of their home country.
Kevin Roberts, president of the Heritage Foundation and one of the guys behind Project 2025, released a video where he criticized everyone who was criticizing Carlson for having Fuentes on. He said that while he, quote, abhors some things that Fuentes has said, Fuentes shouldn't be canceled, and that Heritage will be keeping up its close association with Carlson, saying, quote, the Heritage Foundation didn't become the intellectual backbone of the conservative movement by canceling our own people or policing the consciences of Christians, and we won't start doing that now.
So things are going to go great for y'all. You got J.D. Vance waiting in the wings. You know, the heir apparent.
Looks as if their sales are going up sky high. Better call my broker and tell him to buy.
I wonder if we can beat J.D. motherfucking Vance. Better hope he survives. Because otherwise, we're going to kick J.D. Vance's ass.
Legislators saying we know better how to deploy corporate capital.
Whether you run Weekend at Bernie's Trump or not.
The biggest tax cut, biggest reform of all time.
I'm Zachariah, Lone Star Liberal. Maybe that's what they're doing right now.
I just don't get this, the alarm.
It makes a lot of sense. Oh wait, there's that word again. They don't like it when you call them weird. On behalf of this station, we'd like to apologize for any pathetically weak little maggots out there that need a safe space. I was like, all right, Lone Star Liberal. Y'all take it easy.
You sit here and make salacious remarks, once again trying to slander President Trump, left and right.
Normal for a Miller to be completely and utterly lying.
Piers, I'm going to be done with this if you're going to allow racist and bigoted attacks against one of your commentators. He inserted a line that says the Miller's lie. Is that not coded language for therefore we are Jewish? Come on, Pierce. Where are you? What? Where are you standing?
God, you're so
Katie,
pathetic.
if I can speak.
Hold on. So what happened in the Holocaust and all the pogroms were disgusting. That doesn't mean